Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Natalie with Natalie's Closet, and I will be right back with Getting to Know You episode 40, and I think that's it for today. Okay, I'll be right back. Natalie's Closet. Okay, so welcome back everyone. As I said, this is Natalie with Natalie's Closet, and today we're doing episode 40 of Getting to Know You. As you can tell, there's obviously something different with the scape behind me because I'm in my car. I know I mentioned there may be something drastically different. This is not what I planned on having it be. I was just thinking I might be doing something different with my scape. And that is not the case. So as you saw in the welcome clip, there was like a hospital curtain behind me. Well, we were at the urgent care because we went in for my mom because the pain in her left knee, although has gotten better when the fronts have passed by, there has been a specific pain that has been very bad. And I mean, she even pulled out her walker from surgery, which she does not do. She hates that thing. So that's when I knew it was really bad. And then she was like, you know, this is just getting in the way. And so she was using 2 canes to just kind of help support herself a little bit better. So we ended up going to urgent care, and unfortunately, if it wasn't for the fact, I mean, not unfortunately, but if it wasn't for the fact that we weren't going to continue to be on the go today, I would have just waited to record my video at home. However, I very likely probably wouldn't even get to be able to record it until, I'm going to guess, like 8 o'clock at night. And as long as it takes me to edit, upload, and everything, it wouldn't have posted until tomorrow. And I'm really hoping this gets out today. Because it messes up my everything on my channel when I end up like getting out of sync with, you know, the days. I know that sounds crazy, but it actually does. And somehow something has changed also with this week's Monday and Wednesday videos. The views have gotten like, I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. I mean, whatever. But I really did want to get Getting to Know You done today for Friday. And yeah, so I decided to go ahead and do this while she is at an appointment right now, and then I will be doing, I have an appointment shortly after her, and then we have to run to our office because I think I mentioned at one point this week that we're doing our time in the evenings when nobody is there, because my mom did have a really low-grade fever twice in the beginning of the week, and in order to just play it safe, even though we know we're not sick and it was all to do with the pain in her knee, which is just how it works with her, with our coworker going in for his cancer surgery next week, we just didn't want to take the chance of, you know, if there was something, you know, if we were coming down with whatever. But that is not the case, thankfully, so we're both grateful for that. But yeah, it's just one thing after another today, so we've been literally like craziness. Anyway, Getting to Know You really shouldn't be that long because there's only a couple I have my notebook in front of me. There's only a couple of things really to, I think, go over. I did tick mark 4 different things, so that I think is going to be fun. Several of you said you really like getting, you know, you like when I tell you about things, you know, when I do the tick mark thing and you guys get to know what we all like and stuff. So I think that's cool that you guys enjoyed that. I don't even remember when I had started doing that. I think it was when I was doing questions for a subscriber of the week, or no, for a giveaway or something. I don't know. But anyway, first we'll do the questions, then I'll go on to like any, you know, tips or ideas, that type of a thing, and then I'll go ahead and do the tick marks, and then I will announce subscriber of the week. Remember, today is the video that you will enter subscriber of the week, which would be, I did not have a chance to think of a multiple choice question, so I apologize for that. So this week it's just going to be a matter of letting me know what day what changed. I have a funny feeling this is going to be relatively easy for you guys to figure out. So make sure to leave that in the comment section below to enter this week's subscriber of the week. Remember, if you've won in the past, it's okay. Keep entering it. You guys are still supporting me, and the purpose of my subscriber of the week is to say thank you to those of you that are supporting me, watching my videos and paying attention, you know, to stuff and commenting and liking and everything else. I want to thank those of you that are here and helping me, and I really do sincerely appreciate it. And if you're out of the country, you don't have to worry about that either. It's a world stamp, and it's not a problem for me to be able to send you something. And if you're somebody mentioned how they're not going to be entering because they're trying to work through their stash, I don't send yarn for the subscriber of the week. The winner of the subscriber of the week gets a card with a pack of stickers in it, so it definitely doesn't add to your stash. I thought that was really sweet though, and funny. I giggled at that. But yeah, so feel free to enter as many times as you want. There's no, if you happen to be the lucky person that wins multiple times, that's the way it is. I did have to do the drawing a bunch of times because everybody was answering my question that I asked you guys. Would you prefer it to all be on Friday, the winner and entering? And about, would you prefer multiple choice question or the changing scape? So you guys were answering that question, but as far as actually answering what changed on the scape last week, there were only, there were actually quite a few of you, but for whatever reason, the YouTube random comment picker wasn't picking those comments. So I finally got the first person that I got, is the one who is the winner, but I will go ahead and announce that in a little bit. So anyway, my arm is getting sore because the thing that I use to attach the phone to my windshield evidently isn't working anymore. It somehow broke, so I'm having to hold it by hand. So I apologize if it's wobbly or I need to keep switching my hands. But questions. Angela asked, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. Was it Crochet 1 Knit 2 or something? I can't remember the brand of the yarn, but she asked about the yarn that has I think it's 30% hemp, if I'm not mistaken, in it, if it was soft or stiff. I had felt it in each store I saw it in, which I think I've seen it in all 4 stores, if I'm not mistaken. I will say that you can feel the softness that would be in it, but it is a rougher yarn. Personally, it doesn't scream like scarfable at all. Not at all, but it's not something I would think would be the most comfortable to wear directly against the skin. But it is very beautiful, and I do like the feel of it. It's just not, I don't think it's something I would want to wear against my skin directly. Wearing it as a scarf or a shawl over something, yeah, absolutely. But I hope that answered your question, Angela. And then I did have a question asked of the local yarn shops, and I have recently been hearing on a couple different channels the same general question, but I think it was Diane. I can't remember, and please forgive me if I'm wrong because I didn't write it down. She asked, why are all the yarn why am I doing all these videos of the yarn shops when it's all for knitters? Why don't I do something for crocheters? Now, first of all, remember, even though I know how to knit, I don't knit. I crochet. But I purchase, I'm going to say 90% of the yarn I use at either local yarn shops or on online small businesses. And the reason why I'm doing the Monday and Wednesday series with the local yarn shops on Mondays and the small online businesses on Wednesdays is specifically to support small businesses. And small businesses in the fiber arts community are basically local yarn shops. Yes, there are needle, I forget what they're called, needle art shops, but that's like for cross stitching and stuff where you're using basically thread. I do actually have a local yarn shop that's all they do is sell thread and stuff for needlework. But that's the reason why I am doing the Monday and Wednesday videos, is to support small businesses. And in the fiber arts community, local yarn shops are that. I am not doing it specifically to support it for knitters because, as I said, I crochet, and that's what any work that I do on my channel is, crocheting. Now, as for why local yarn shops tend to seem to be for knitters, one thing you have to remember, for the longest time, typically local yarn shops, knitters are oftentimes referred to as yarn snobs because the yarns they tend to use are the indie hand-dyed, hand-spun yarns, which tend to be more expensive, which are sold at local yarn shops. And so local yarn shops have always typically been known for knitters because those are the people that use the yarns in those shops. Having said that, yes, even with my immediate local yarn shop right around the corner from my house, the very first time I went in there years ago, the question was, how long have you been knitting? And I told her, I don't knit, I crochet. And yes, I got the look like, wow, you crochet and you're in here. But it wasn't necessarily like a snobbish look. I have had that response in the past, absolutely. But once I start a conversation and I explain, this is just the type of yarn I prefer using and I happen to have a market for it, they're absolutely, welcome you. The reason why I think people have been having an issue with it is because some ways that the response is when you say you crochet, it's more of a shock that you would be wanting to spend the money on the yarns that are in local yarn shops to crochet, because crochet takes up a lot more yarn. You use a lot more yarn in crocheting than you do knitting. And yarns that are at local yarn shops are typically hand-dyed, hand-spun indie yarns that are more expensive. And any that are not indie yarns are also typically more expensive, and you have smaller amounts for a more expensive price than you would at a big box store. And so it's not as common to have crocheters that shop there. Now, that being said, a lot of crocheters are starting to really love indie yarn because look at KnitCrate. KnitCrate, that's typically what you get. You get hanks of indie yarn, and a lot of crocheters get that subscription box. But KnitCrate, it's also typically, I think, started out for knitters, but they've now started including crochet patterns because a lot of crocheters are starting to get into it, and there are a lot of crocheters that are really liking the idea of using indie yarn. The tides are turning. I assure you of that, because as you guys know, I have been doing local yarn shop tours, and I've done 4 that I've shared with you guys, and I already have 2 others pre-recorded. And I will say that the last 3, I want to say, or maybe the last 2, they've not only are they not only not surprised to have crocheters in there, but they actually have the fact that they teach crocheting on their windows, or they have crocheters that are sitting there crocheting at the tables. 9 times out of 10, even a couple years ago, it was always knitters at the tables, and that's typically what it is now, but it is starting to change, and crocheters are more actively shopping at local yarn shops. And I have noticed a difference in the response when I say, I don't knit, I crochet. Oh, awesome, welcome. Or whatever. And they have notions for crocheters. They sell crochet hooks more and more. Not all of them always, but there are more and more shops that I've noticed that are incorporating things for crocheters. So I know that was the long way around that, and I apologize, but I hope that explained why local yarn shops tend to seem like it's for knitters, not crocheters. But the tides are turning because crocheters are really liking the idea of the indie yarns. And as long as you don't mind spending the price for indie yarns, now see, that's the other thing. I know I've heard on a couple of different channels that, I went to my local yarn shop and I was able to find some of the brands that they have there online for a lot cheaper. Absolutely, there are brands, not hand-dyed yarns, but there are brands and there are yarns that you can still find online. But typically those stores that you're finding them at are larger stores because they are able to offer a discounted rate for the same types of yarns that you would get at a local yarn shop. And again, the purpose of my doing these 2 series is to support the small businesses, because right now they are really hurting. And that's one thing I wanted to make sure to mention, because I know a couple people found me through other channels that somebody mentioned that I was doing a local yarn shop series, and they were really excited when they realized there were a couple local yarn shops around them that they never even realized there were any, much less a couple. And I'm so excited about that, and I think that's awesome. And that's one of the people is here in Florida up north. But make sure to call before, if it's a distance away from you, make sure to call to confirm they're open, because I know there was another local yarn shop in my county, but it has permanently closed after last year. And there were like 2 other ones that I could have gone to that have temporarily or permanently closed due to the situation that has been going on. And that's what I'm saying when I say small businesses are really suffering right now. And seeing as though I am in the fiber arts community, that's why I chose those types of businesses to feature on these 2 series as small businesses. But I hope that answered your question as far as why it may seem that local yarn shops are just for knitters. And there can be, I will admit, there can be an attitude about, being a crocheter, but it is changing. So if you just give it a little bit more time, I'm pretty confident it's going to change drastically everywhere. But I hope that answered your question as to why I'm doing these local yarn shops, and I hope you understand that I am doing it as a crocheter, not as a knitter. Honestly, the only other thing I could do for crocheters would be to go big box, and I don't buy my yarn at big box stores typically. I do sometimes, like if I'm needing to do some baby blankets and I'm wanting to use like Bernat baby blanket yarn or something like that. But otherwise, as a general rule, I don't shop big box. So I hope that answered the question. I hope I was diplomatic enough, because I know this could be a touchy subject with some people are really upset with local yarn shops, and I get that, because I was like that a couple years ago too, before I really turned into liking, or that being my primary source for yarn. So I get it, I totally get it, but I hope that helped a little. I apologize that it's getting wobbly, my hand is really cramping up, but right now I need to get to my notebook because it's not wanting to stand up properly. But anyway, so as far as tips and hacks or anything, there were no tips or hacks. But I did want to thank everybody for the prayers for my mom. We both appreciate it, and it's definitely, sorry guys, I know I'm touching my speaker. It's definitely something that has been needed. And even though we got an x-ray of her knee at the urgent care, and they said that it looks like it, everything is stable in there from her surgery from 13 years ago with the knee replacement, and her, there's degenerative, bone, but that's what was there 13 years ago. He said that it looks like it's more than likely a soft tissue like injury, or she may have like really irritated the tendon where the pain is. So that's what we're praying it is, and we're staying confident. It may take a while for it to feel better, but we are staying confident that it is not an infection or anything like that. So thank you again for all the prayers. I do appreciate it, and sending up a few more wouldn't hurt if you're willing to, and positive thoughts. Thank you very, very much. And then oh yeah, I already went over that to make sure to call any local yarn shops you may want to visit, especially if they're not like right around the corner, just to make sure they're still open. And then let's see. Oh, the yarns that I pulled out of the Traveling Surprise Fiber box, I was going to mention to you guys, I was going to show it and mention to you a couple things that Reggie mentioned where they're from, but I don't have them with me because I'm not at home, and I forgot that was going to be part of what I wanted to say. But for those of you that remember, the Zauberball, I think is what it was called, she said is a German company, and it means magic ball, so that's cool. And then the velvet yarn that I picked out, that I think it was Go Handmade, is from, is it Hobby or Hobby? Hobbii. So that's cool too. And then last but not least, Anita and Angela, and I know a couple other people mentioned and I think it's, I can't remember how to pronounce her name. I think it's Chavon. or 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪 is how I said it, but I think it's actually pronounced Chavon, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I apologize if I'm chopping that up. But I mentioned how she has dye kits on her website, and several of you said that you absolutely love the idea of that, but someone said that, you know, there's really no time for it, and somebody else said that they really want to check that out. So that's awesome. If you do check it out, please let me know, because I was actually interested in that also. Right now I don't have the time to start dyeing, but I am going to at sometime in the hopefully not too distant future. Okay, and then now onto the tick marks, and I hope my camera is staying steady right this second, but when it came to my question about sorry guys, that was my bad. When it came to my question about subscriber of the week and leaving it where, you know, I asked, would it be better if you enter it on Friday as well as me announce the winner on Friday, or should I keep it the same where you enter on Friday and announce on Monday? It was overwhelming. There was not one that said to leave it the same. There were 9 tick marks for subscriber of the week, doing it all on Friday. So I am going to go ahead and keep it that way. So like I said, I'm going to announce the winner for last week today, and then you also enter today. So remember, let me know what changed on what day. I think you guys can figure that out pretty easily. But anyway, and then I also asked you the question on whether or not you would prefer me having a changing scape in the back behind me, which was on top of my cabinet, or asking a multiple choice question. Now, one person said anything different is fine. 2 people said any way I want to do it is fine, just please continue doing it, because that's something that they enjoy, and that is something I do a little bit differently on my channel. I'm definitely keeping subscriber of the week regardless. And then the next one was to do the multiple choice question with 5 tick marks. And then the winner was the changing scape with 7 tick marks. Now, I really like doing the scape, but at the same time, right now, I don't necessarily have all of the items I would need to do it like on a monthly basis based on the main holiday that may be in that month. So I'm still thinking about, I will give you a definitive answer next Friday. I was kind of toying, going back and forth, either doing it every other week, like one week it'll be you have to pick what changed in the scape, and then the next week it would be multiple choice questions. So whatever week I didn't do a question, it would be you'd find what's different on the scape. But then I was also thinking of possibly doing it where every week I do both, and whoever wants to enter it with the changing of the scape enters it that way, and whoever wants to do the multiple choice question can do it that way. So I'm still debating on which way I want to ultimately do it. The only reason why I'm not necessarily wanting to do the multiple choice question every week is because it's going to get, I really like to get, I like to really do thought-provoking questions and multiple choice answers. It's just my thing, and I really liked only doing that for my my milestone giveaways. However, I'm going to play that by ear. I'm still thinking about it, and it's just going to be a matter of whether or not I alternate it every week or I just do both every week, because I really do like the idea of doing the scape. But I like to make sure that everybody is enjoying it, and I want everybody to take part in it. So if it means I do both so that everybody takes part in it, then that's what I do. So let me know your thoughts on that. I mean, honestly, I am wanting to do what everybody's liking. There were more people really excited about the scape when they answered. And then, like I said, there were a couple people that just, because they don't really have the time to be able to check, and I get that, like to check the changes, but I also want everybody to enter. So I want everybody to have a chance to win, even though it's a card and a pack of stickers, and some may think that's silly. I really want I want a lot of people to have a chance to be able to be a subscriber of the week. So I'm still playing with it, and I apologize that got a lot longer. Okay, and then as far as the favorite things from Needlefish, there was only one for everything in the store. And then there was one for one of the Wonderland yarns, and then the Liana, which is what I purchased and showed you at the end. And then like 2 different people, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped the other one. One was the socks at the end, And then one person said the samples that I showed. And then there were 2 tick marks for the spun right round yarn. And then the llama stuff, there were 2 tick marks, and 2 for the big sky yarns. And then there were 3 for the bags that I showed, because they had a lot of bags at that store. And then 4 tick marks for the armchair, the bag that kind of has the like beanie bag on one side, the weighted beanie bag that you could put over the arm of your couch or your chair or whatever, and it has the little bag on the other side. That had 4 tick marks. And then the last one and the winner was the sesame yarn with 5 tick marks. A lot of people, the 5 of you, really like the sesame yarn. Somebody said they actually went back twice in the video to make sure of the name. So that was kind of cool. I loved that. And that was that for Needlefish, which was the local yarn shop tour that we did. And then for Wednesday, what your favorite was between the knitting artists, where I had those 2 different hanks, both inspired by her oil paintings, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗪, which is the Sayoban, is how I said it originally, but I guess it's 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗪 or something similar to that. Again, please don't kill me. Her yarn, her bag got 1 tick mark, where somebody specifically said they loved the bag. And then there were 4 for her bright, colorful, like the neon colors being the favorite. And then the knitting artist got 12. With the multicolored one being the favorite. Again, I don't have the yarns in front of me because I'm in my car, but her yarns, or her shop, I guess, but I mean the yarns that I showed you, those were the favorites. So I thought you guys might enjoy knowing all of that. I know several of you said you do like when I share the tick marks that I've been keeping track of. So, and I like going over it also because it helps me get to know you guys a little bit better. Not that I can remember who said what all the time, but I do love reading the comments about it. So anyway, I have to get going. Oh wait, subscriber of the week, I totally forgot. Oh my goodness, can't believe I almost forgot it. Again, I've done it before. But last week's subscriber of the week is... Congratulations, Natalie. I'm so excited for you. I know you've won before, but again, you keep watching my videos. You comment on every single video that I put out. So thank you so incredibly much for your support. Again, I think this week we may have some more entries because it's very obvious what is different and on what day. But congratulations, I will get your card out ASAP. So thank you guys so incredibly much. I have to go because I have to go in for my appointment now. Thank you again for all of your prayers, and I'm just so continuing to pray that it is a soft tissue injury on my mom's knee, and that it is not an infection or anything like that. And you know, she has an appointment with her orthopedic surgeon for her annual follow-up from her right knee, and we're going to take the disc and the report and everything for him to see the left knee. But anyway, again, thank you so incredibly much for your prayers and your thoughts for both of us and for Miley. Miley says hi and bye to her peeps. She, of course, isn't here right now, otherwise she'd be barking her head off. But she does say hello and goodbye to everybody. Remember, for every season, there's a reason to crochet. Love, hugs, and prayers for everybody. Extra prayers for those who need it. Please let me know if you do. I will definitely send some up. You guys will see me on Monday, I believe, is the next video with the next local yarn shop tour. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Please forgive me for this being a totally wacko video, or I mean, not being in my normal space, but I had to do what I had to do. I'm guessing this video probably won't be up until this evening, but I'm hoping to get it up before 9 o'clock at the latest. So we'll see how that works. But again, have a great night. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and healthy, and I will see you guys soon. Love you guys. Bye.